Imagine looking up right now. The night is quiet, right? But then there's this low, unnatural, mechanical hum rising up from the streets. It's a sound so strange, so totally out of place that you realize in one terrifying second, the city is no longer alone.
So let's dive straight into this absolutely wild what-if scenario. What if the world's most watched, most secure city suddenly found itself completely overwhelmed, completely helpless under a silent sky? Imagine London tonight. It doesn't wake up to sirens. It doesn't wake up to smoke. It wakes up to a dark, massive swarm of machines.
There's this quote that really hits the nail on the head here. Sometimes the danger arrives in the dark, glides over the rooftops, watches from above, and waits for the exact moment when fear spreads faster than reason. Think about that for a second. The scariest attacks, they aren't always loud. Actually, the most dangerous invasions are rarely even visible at first.
Section 1. The Drop-In. Picture an ordinary night in London. You've got the glowing taxis, the late trains, pubs are full, tourists are hanging out near Westminster. The Thames is reflecting the city lights like 1,000 tiny promises that tomorrow will be totally normal. And then, a few people point upward. Small lights. A coordinated cluster of machines moving steadily, silently. It's not a stunt. It's not some movie shoot. Within minutes, the airspace feels completely occupied.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it completely flips our understanding of a threat. A conventional military attack, that's all about physical destruction. It's loud, it breaks things. But a drone swarm capture, it is deeply, intensely psychological. It dominates the atmosphere, literally turning everyday technology into pure fear. And it does it without destroying a single brick.
Which leads us to Section 2, the logistical nightmare. Once the public realizes this isn't just some weird light show, confusion instantly turns to alarm, and the massive, living machine of London is forced to react. Look at what the authorities are suddenly dealing with. I mean, you can't just seal off London like you're locking a bedroom door. It has millions of people, endless moving parts. You've got these drones hovering over critical traffic corridors, circling transit hubs, creating massive strategic distractions. Drivers are literally staring upward and slamming on their brakes. Metro stations are filling up with people instinctively trying to hide underground. How on earth do you stop a threat that forces an entire metropolis to just freeze?
So security teams and aviation authorities have to rapidly move through 4 key steps: assess, isolate, identify, and neutralize. But here's the catch. They are operating with entirely incomplete information. It's a ridiculously delicate balancing act. If the police react too aggressively, they amplify the exact panic they're desperately trying to prevent. But if they react too slowly, well, they look completely helpless in the face of an airborne invasion.
Moving on to Section 3, the psychological collapse. This is where we shift from the physical airspace right into the mental airspace, because the true target of this swarm isn't the streets of London, it's the minds of Londoners.
We actually have to completely redefine the word capture. In modern urban conflict, capture doesn't necessarily mean military occupation anymore. It means dominating the atmosphere. It means disrupting communication, saturating the city's attention so completely that it just loses confidence in itself. A city that panics is a city that is controlled. They don't need to blow up Parliament, right? They just need to make you feel like you aren't safe looking at it.
And you can see how fast this accelerates. We're talking late evening confusion, turning to outright alarm in minutes. And within hours, total psychological fracture. Suddenly, a bridge is no longer just a bridge. A train station isn't just the station. They become sudden, exposed targets. When the sky, a place we subconsciously assume is always under control, is breached, that feeling of safety evaporates in an instant.
Section 4, escalation and the rumor mill. Because the drones up in the sky, that's only half the battle. The other half is happening right now in our pockets.
Just look at the claims that start popping up online. Hundreds of drones over the Thames. They were launched from hidden vehicles. They're carrying dangerous payloads. Shaky smartphone videos are spreading instantly. Some posts are wildly exaggerated, some are entirely false, some might actually be true. But honestly, the accuracy doesn't even matter at this point, does it? It's the spread that does the damage. Social media accelerates the terror way faster than the machines themselves. The threat literally leaves the sky and enters every single screen in the city.
And this brilliantly illustrates the human cost of this scenario. Imagine a family locked in their living room right now. They're frantically checking the news, double-checking the locks. Kids are asking if the drones are going to hurt them. This is exactly how fear works in a metropolitan crisis. Fear contracts the future. You stop thinking about tomorrow. You stop thinking about your plans for next week. Your entire world just shrinks down to surviving the next 10 minutes.
But Section 5, how a city fights back. Because a great city like London doesn't just freeze forever. No way. It adapts, it hardens, and it improvises. Since the deepest goal of this swarm is psychological submission, the absolute ultimate defense isn't actually technical, it's emotional. It's collective resolve. Human resilience is the only true counterweight to this kind of technological intimidation. The swarm desperately wants you to feel overpowered. So refusing to feel overpowered, that is step one to taking the city back.
Look at how a community naturally becomes its own defense system. You've got neighbors checking on neighbors, shopkeepers pulling vulnerable people off the streets to shelter them, drivers meticulously backing up and clearing paths so emergency vehicles can break through the gridlock, people actively, consciously choosing to share verified updates instead of panic-driven rumors. If everyday human behaviors remain calm, the city essentially resists capture long before a single drone is neutralized.
Which brings us to Section 6, the future of urban conflict. What this whole explainer reveals goes far, far beyond just one hypothetical night in London. It is a massive, flashing warning sign about the changing landscape of global security.
This is why all of this matters so much. The most advanced cities in the world, with all their history, their wealth, their massive intelligence agencies, are uniquely vulnerable to the smallest, smartest forms of asymmetrical attack. The future of conflict isn't just about borders and massive armies anymore. It's about silence, swarms, speed. It's realizing that the battle begins not with tanks at the gate, but with strange lights in the sky and panic on the street.
So when the night finally ends and the skies over London grow quiet again, this is the question we are left with. Did the city win because the machines were stopped? Or did the city win because the people kept their nerve when the sky turned strange? In the modern world, the true nature of victory might just be refusing to let fear define you.